So welcome to yoga class on the mat, and I am Audra Mealy. And so today we're going to be working from the mat. Again, you can use a chair if you'd like, and just modify as you need to. Always practice at your own level, adjust as you need to. Okay, if you can't breathe or smile, you're probably doing too much. So we're just going to sit comfortable upright seat, and it could be sitting cross-legged, it could be with your legs out in front. It could be sitting in a chair, somewhere where you can sit upright. And we're just going to shrug the shoulders up, take a deep breath in. And exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. And again, take a deep, nice breath in. Exhale out. We're going to go 2 more, breath in. And out. And again, inhale. And exhale. From here, so let your hands rest on your lap. You can close your eyes and just begin to focus on your breath, breathing in and out through your nose. As you inhale, let the breath expand to your belly, your back, your ribs, your chest. As you exhale, let the hips settle and ground, and the spine lengthens from the tailbone to the top of your head. So comfortable yet upright, seated posture. As you inhale, say in your mind, I am breathing in. And as you exhale, I am breathing out. Just taking long, full breaths. If your mind wanders off to other sounds or thoughts, you can gently bring your focus back to your breath. From here, we'll just bring hands to heart, pressing the palms together. And just take a moment to create an intention or a focus for your practice, for your day. Could be for relief or relaxation, maybe for energy or strength, for well-being. So whatever your intention, just having that in mind. Take a deep breath in and exhale all the way out. From here, we're going to release the hands. From here, let's go ahead and stretch the legs out. And if you're seated in the chair, you can just have the feet on the floor. We're going to bring the hands in front and clasp your hands. Go around the back, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin. And from here, turn the palms forward. Inhale, stretch up. And you can look up towards the sky, or you can look straight ahead. Keep a little bend to your elbows. On the exhale, again, round the back. On the inhale, stretch up. Exhale and round. Inhale, stretch up. And again, exhale out. And inhale up. From here, it's going to release the hands to the floor. Okay, so arms out to the side, or again, if you're sitting in the chair, just extend them out. We're going to take the left ear towards left shoulder, pressing that right ear towards the ceiling. Maybe walk that right arm out and hand out a little bit further. Keep your legs active. If you're sitting up here and this feels like a little bit too much on your back, you can bend your knees. Okay? So just a little stretch in the neck. We're going to lift that right arm just an inch or two off the floor. Rotate the shoulder forward as you extend out through the arm. And then rotate back, palm faces up. From here, to lower that arm down, switch the head over to the other side, press the left ear towards the ceiling, walk that left arm out. And then lift that arm an inch or two off the ground and rotate the shoulder forward. And then roll it back. And lower down. From here, we're going to come onto hands and knees, but if you're in the chair, you can just go hands on knees. We're going to do a little cat and cow. So in the chair, you would just round your back here and then arch back, hands on hips, and look up. Otherwise, let's come on up to hands and knees. If you want a little extra padding, you can always double up your mat, or you can use a blanket. Okay, so we're going to spread the fingers, wrists under your shoulders, knees at or a little bit behind your hips. We're going to drop the low back, shoulders hug back, lift your head, take a breath in. And as you exhale, round your back, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin. On the inhale, come back to cow. Exhale, round to cat. Good. 2 more, moving with your breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. One more. From here, I come back to neutral spine. You're just going to take the right leg out, heel on the floor, toes to the sky if you're sitting. Okay. Otherwise, scoot forward. Okay, so straight leg, and then just sink your weight back into that foot. Stretch through the leg, into the calf and the foot. Keep, if you're on the mat, go ahead and press the fingers. That'll help support the wrists. Let's go ahead and lower that leg down. We'll switch to the other side. Extend back. Extend from hip out to heel. And we're going to lower that leg down. From here, take the knees a little bit wider apart. We're going to sit back in child's pose. So you sit back towards your heels, extend the arms out, and then bow your head. You don't want to overextend your neck to get your head to the floor. If you're sitting far enough back, your head might reach the floor, and if so, you can rest it there. Otherwise, just find a neutral place where your ears are a little more in line with your arms. Anytime you need to rest your paws, you can always come into child's pose. Great stretch for the low back. Tops of the feet on the floor. Take a full breath in. And then exhale it out. From here, we're going to take the right leg forward for a lunge. So step that right leg up. We're going to go with a bent knee lunge. Knee to chest if you're seated. Okay. And the back foot, you can either have the toes tucked or you can have the top of the foot on the floor. It just depends what feels better on your knee. From here, we'll bring the hands up to the front knee and just let that knee be over the ankle. Start to a little stretch in through that hip and thigh. And then also the hip and the thigh on the other side a little bit more in the front. You can hold here for a little more stability, or you can reach the arms up. And you can look up or you can look straight ahead, see what feels better on your neck this morning. Okay. From here, you can either keep your hands back on the knee or reach that left hand down to the floor. And you want to either be flat palm, fingertips, or fist. You don't want to be fingers down, palm up. It puts a lot of strain on the fingers and the wrist. So from here, grounding through that arm, other hand to your hip and twist to the side. You can hold here or extend that arm up. You can also be here or here. If you want to take it further, you can extend that back leg straight. Keep your breath flowing. Remember, if you can't smile or breathe, you're doing too much. Let's go ahead and lower down. We're going to take both hands the inside of that front leg, walk the hands out a bit. From here, you're going to start to lower down towards the floor. You can hold here or maybe slide that back leg a little further back and sink a little lower. Okay, don't just drop that outside shoulder down. Try to keep the shoulders a little more level. Keep a little tone on the inner thighs. And we'll walk the hands back up. Come back to all fours. From here, you can take a forward fold if you're seated in the chair. On the mat, you can sit back in child's pose. Or you can come to downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, lift the knees, shift the hips and shoulders back. And let your head relax down. So you might have to bend your knees a little bit at first. Don't worry if your heels don't reach the floor. Really press through those finger pads to help keep you grounded. Take a full breath in. Exhale out. Now we're going to take the left leg forward for lunge. It's a little bit easier to lower down and then bring that leg up. And you can use your hands to do so if you need to. Okay. From here, and bring hands to the front knee. Or you can go hands to hips. Or reach up to the sky. From here, we'll go hands back to knee. Or right hand to the floor. Left hand to the hip. Twist to the side. And you extend that arm up. You can hold here or extend through the back leg. Press through the front foot a bit to sink more weight towards that back leg. Then we're going to go ahead and lower the back knee. Bring both hands to the inside of the front leg. Walk the hands out a bit here. Maybe slide that back leg a little further back. And then you can start to lower it towards the floor. There's a tendency as you lower the knee, either wants to go away from you or it wants to come towards you. Try to keep that knee over your ankle. And just work towards the edge. All right, no need to push or force in any pose. From here, I'm going to walk the hands back in. And again, step back, either child's pose or downward facing dog. Balasana is the Sanskrit name for child's pose. And Adho Mukha Shavasana is the name for downward facing dog. Notice it has the word Shavasana in it. So it is technically a resting pose, although it doesn't always feel like that, especially when you're first starting out. From here, we're just going to walk the hands back to your feet, bend the knees a bit to a forward fold. From here, you're going to bend the knees and roll all the way up. From here, you just shrug your shoulders up, take a big breath in, and exhale, extend the arms, spread your toes, and just ground down through the legs into Tadasana, or standing mountain pose. From here, you're going to inhale, reach the arms all the way up, interlace your fingers, stretch over to the left side. Inhale, come back to center, keeping the hips level. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale, center. We'll go over to the first side. Inhale, center. One more time, other side. Keeping those shoulders down the back. Inhale, back to center. From here, go ahead and clasp your hands behind your back. So the knuckles face down. Draw the shoulders back and then extend your arms down. Lengthen up through the top of your head. From here, just turn your head to the right. And then to the left. And we'll come back to center. From here, inhale, reach both arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold towards your legs. So forward fold, you can just have a little bend in your knees, stay up higher if you need to. Otherwise, as you're more flexible, you can straighten the legs, keeping the knees soft, and then walk your hands further down your legs, maybe even to the floor. If your hands don't reach the floor, don't worry about it. But if they don't, do keep them somewhere on your legs because it's going to get a little bit more support. The other thing that tends to happen, sometimes we drop the shoulders, we round the back. So keep the shoulders back. Lift through your sitting bones. Let your head relax. Take some full breaths. Feel the weight ground in the heels and the balls of the feet. From here, you're going to bend the right knee slightly, straightening the left leg. And then we'll switch to the other side. And we'll bend both knees, tuck your tailbone, roll all the way up. Shrug your shoulders up, take a big breath in. And exhale, extend out through your arms. Okay. From here, take the feet just a little bit wider than your hips. Okay, we're gonna come into a squat, so you can be here with hands on your legs, or maybe elbows to thighs. You can sink a little bit deeper in that squat. Okay, keep your hips above your knees, or don't drop below there. You can take the right arm out to the side, twist and stretch up. If you're seated, just focus on the upper body part here, where you can extend out through the arm. Twisting from the low back and the belly, the ribs and the chest. Come on back to center. Stretch up to the other side. And again, back to center. Hands to knees, roll all the way up. Shrug your shoulders up. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bringing the feet back in line with the sitting bones to Tadasana. From here, reach arms all the way up. And hold on to either wrists or elbows. I'm just going to stretch over to the right side. Press down through that left leg. Inhale, back to center. And then over to the other side. And back to center. And release your arms down. Take a big breath in. Big sigh out. All right, let's do a couple sun salutations. So sun salutations work through all the major muscle groups of the body. Good way to stretch out everything. So we're going to start at the top of your mat. I'm going to go a long ways here. Again, just standing with the shoulders over the hips, over the knees, over the ankles. And we'll bring hands to heart. And just press the palms. Spread your toes a bit. Let your weight sink into the earth. From here, we're going to inhale, stretch the arms up to the sky. On an exhale, forward fold, bowing towards your legs. Come up halfway. So you might be with hands on the mat still, or you might be hands on legs. And then exhale and bow forward. From here, we're going to take the right leg back for lunge. Again, you could be a higher standing lunge. You can be here. You can even take that back knee down if you prefer. Okay, and you can reach the arms up. Here or here. From here, we're going to step back to downward facing dog or child's pose. Another option would be to stand back up to forward fold. From here, we're going to inhale to plank. Don't be a banana and drop your hips. Keep those hips a little bit higher. If that feels like too much, just go knees on the ground, half plank. Keeping the shoulders back, elbows close, lower down to the floor. Stretch the legs back. Tops of your feet on the floor. Traction the hands towards you as you hug the elbows towards the ribs and lift your chest. So you're using your back and belly muscles, not so much pushing up with your hands. Lower back down. Tuck the toes, press back to either child's pose or to downward facing dog. And your downward dog distance is about equivalent to your plank. And take the right leg forward for lunge. Again, it can be bent knee or straight leg or come up higher. And you can be hands on knees, hands on hips. Hands on knees puts a little more weight forward. If you work further back towards your hips, you can get a little more grounded through both legs. And step up to a forward fold. Inhale, roll all the way up. Stretch the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart. Let's go again. Inhale, stretch up tall. Exhale, forward fold. Come up halfway. And bow. Take the right leg back for lunge. From here, you're going to step back, either child's pose or downward facing dog. Inhale to plank or half plank. Lower down to the ground. From here, let's go ahead and clasp the hands behind the back. Snuggle the shoulders in. Extend your arms down towards your feet. Press the toenails towards the floor. And on inhale, lift the chest. Stretch your arms back towards your feet. Head neutral, so look down towards your mat a bit. Maybe a little bend your elbows. And then lower down. Release the hands. Press back, either child's pose or downward facing dog. I take the other leg forward for lunge. You reach here or stretch up. Or straight leg. You can look forward too. Step back up to a forward fold. Roll all the way up. Reach both arms up. And exhale, hands to heart. All right, take a cleansing breath, stretch up. Big sigh out. And again, inhale. And exhale. Should feel a little warmer now. From here, we're going to step wide on the mat. And we're going to turn the toes out slightly. So about 45-degree angle. Okay. You're going to bend your knees. And then arms out to the side. Victory squat. So we're going to inhale, extend the arms and legs. Exhale, bend your knees and your elbows. Okay. So you're breathing in through your nose here. And we're going to exhale out through the mouth. Again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Come all the way up. From here, let's go ahead and turn the feet. We're going to turn the left foot to the long side of the mat, right foot to the short side. Bend the knee. From here, you can go hand or elbow to your thigh, other hand to the hip. Okay, so Parsvakonasana from the side here. You can be here or reach further down towards the foot. Full pose is going to be hand on the outer aspect, but if that feels like too much, just stick with the inside. Okay. Take the shoulder back, the ribs back, sweep that top arm up alongside your ear from fingers, root to shoulder, all the way to that back leg. Okay, from here, you can swing that arm back or bring hands to the knee, come all the way up. Let's switch the feet other direction. Okay, left toes to the short side, right toes to the long, and then bend the knee here. Hand or elbow to your thigh, right hand back on the hip, or swing it up, or stretch further down. A little bit easier to look down towards your foot for balance. As you're more steady, you can look out to the side. See where you can lengthen the neck a bit. And let's swing that arm back. We'll bring hands to knee, come all the way up. Turn the toes in. From here, you can go hands on hips, or hands where hips and thighs meet, or clasp behind you. Take the shoulders back, and then hug in through the inner thighs. Press to the feet, take a deep breath in. Exhale, bow forward. More support, stay up higher. Bend the knees a bit. Otherwise, straight legs, keep the knees soft. And then just bowing, let your head relax down. You might walk your hands further down your legs or even to the mat. A wide angle forward fold called also Prasarita Pada Uttanasana. Great way to lengthen through the backs of the legs, which also helps to open up the lower back. And from here, you get some natural traction with your head relaxing down. You get a little stretch through the neck and a little bit in the upper back as well. One more breath. Of course, you can always come out of this pose sooner if you need to. Okay. And we're going to bend the knee slightly and roll all the way up. From here, we're going to keep that back foot on the left as it is. The right leg, we're going to turn back out. Wrap this hip on the left a little forward, and then extend out through that right arm. You're going to reach out and over. Both legs are straight. Drop that arm down to the inner thigh. Press the arm and leg together here, and then take the chest and the shoulders back. You can go hand on hip or extend up. Maybe you go further towards the floor. Not important whether or not you reach the floor. You want to be able to keep the legs straight, but if you feel unsteady, go ahead, bend your knee, get the hand on the floor. If you have a yoga block, you could use that as well. So Trikonasana or triangle pose. And again, looking at your foot is a little easier than looking out to the side. Don't just drop your head down, find a neutral place for head and neck. From here, we're going to go ahead and bend that knee a bit. Bring both arms down, turn the back toes in and step in slightly. Square up towards your mat with the hips. Try to keep this knee bent a bit so you can get your hands on the floor. And we're going to straighten the back leg. Slowly, we're going to start to straighten the front leg. So both legs straight. Back heel may or may not reach the floor. That's okay. Then we're going to ground the left hand, again, either fist, fingertips, or flat palm. Bring the other hand to your hip. We're going to twist over to that right side. And hand can stay on the hip or extend your arm up. Revolve triangle pose. Take the top arm down. We're going to bend the knee. And we're going to step the back foot up to a forward fold. Roll all the way up. Take a nice big inhale, stretch up. Exhale, arms to your side. All right, we're going to switch over to the other side. So we're going to step right leg back, left leg forward, straighten that leg. Take the right arm out, wrap that hip forward, extend out and over. Again, hinge from the hips, don't bow from the waist. Okay. Drop that arm to the inside, take the shoulder back. Hold here, or start to work further towards the floor. The more you press the arm and leg together there, you get a little more support. Maybe take the arm up. And rather than reaching towards your foot, have the hand a little bit behind the heel. It's less of a distance to actually reach, and it's a little bit more in line with your shoulder. From here, take that top arm down, going to bend the knee a bit, and turn the back toes in, step in slightly, square the hips to the mat, press out through the back leg, and then slowly start to shift the hips back, straighten through the front leg. Don't round your shoulders and drop down. Shoulders stay back, extend out. So always lengthening. You want to create space. Space in the vertebrae. Space in your breath. Space in your mind. From here, let's go ahead and take that right hand on the floor, left hand to your hip, shoulder back, and hold here, or extend the arm up. Again, a little bit easier to look at your foot as you're steady, then you can turn your head a bit more to the side. Let's take that top arm down. From here, go ahead and lower down to all fours. Sit back either child's pose or downward facing dog. From here, we'll come back to all fours. Okay. And again, you can have the toes tucked or tops of your feet on the floor. Just going to do a little breath work here. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, exhale out through your mouth like lion's breath. So we're going to inhale from all fours, and we're going to exhale out through the mouth as you sit back in child's pose. When you're all out of breath, we're going to inhale back up again. All right, so just start. Big breath in through your nose. Exhale, sit back, child's pose. Again, inhale. All fours. Exhale. 2 more. Big breath in. Exhale out. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and hold the child's pose. And you hold steady here, or you can sway a little bit from side to side. It'll stretch across the low back and the hips. A little more challenging to breathe in folds as well as twists. From here, you're going to take the right leg forward for pigeon press. You're going to slide the right knee up to your hand, sit over on that hip, maybe bring that foot a little bit forward. And you're going to square the hips up. If this feels like too much, just go ahead and stay on your side and work on getting a little stretch there. As you're able to, it's easier to start up a little bit higher to get that stretch up into the hip. Otherwise, you can work the leg further back with the back leg, or you can bring this leg even a little more forward. So both of those will be a little bit more challenging, so adjust where you need to. You can hold right here, hug in through the inner thighs. Maybe walk the hands forward. If you're in the chair, this is ankle on ankle or ankle on thigh, and then bow forward towards your legs. Okay. Maybe lower down. Maybe even stack your hands and rest your head. Back foot can either be tucked or top of your foot on the floor. Do keep some tone on those inner thighs. Full breaths to the back, the belly, the ribs, the chest. Two more breaths. You're going to come up from here, just going to sit over onto your hip. We're going to bend the back leg and reach for the top of your foot. You're going to hug and draw that heel towards your hip. Turn this way. Okay. If you can't reach your foot, you can just try to lift the leg if it feels like too much. Okay. If it feels like too much, if your leg cramps up, then just let it go. So you can spread the toes. And you can stay up higher here, or you can lower down towards your elbow. Okay. Lengthen a bit through the tailbone and the low back. Feel a stretch in the top of the thigh. If you want to take it further, you can square back up to the top of your mat. No need to push or force. Let's go ahead and release that leg. From here, go ahead and stretch back to either child's pose or downward facing dog. From here, we're going to take, you lower down all fours. Going to take the left knee up to left hand. Bring that foot out in front. Square up to your mat. Again, if you're up higher, that's fine. Even if you're sitting over on your hip, that's okay. You want to work towards squaring up, but adjust where you need to. Okay. So from here, hug in through the inner thighs. And then from here, start to bow forward. You can hold here, lower the forearms, stack your hands, rest your head. If your foot's further up, you're going to be a little bit more on the edge of your foot. If it's closer back towards your hip, you'll be more on the top of your foot. Just don't let this ankle go past the knee. That's too much on the knee. Full breaths in and out through the nose. It's easy when we're holding poses to sometimes let our mind wander. So just stay present with your body, with your breath. I'm going to hold for 2 more breaths. Go ahead and walk the hands back up. Sit over on that left hip a bit. Reach back for the right leg. Draw the heel in towards your hip. Okay. Try to work the shoulder back. Depending where you're holding, hold the inner aspect of your foot or the outer. But the shoulder tends to want to drop. So see where you can open up through that shoulder. You can stay here or lower further down to the arm. Or again, you can square back up to the top of your mat. Spread the toes a bit. Hug in through the inner thighs. So you are using some abdominal muscles here to help support the low back. Okay. Definitely using the glutes and the thighs. All right, let's release that leg. Just sit over on the hips, swing that back leg forward. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Okay, so soles of the feet together. You can rock a little bit to bring those feet in closer. And you just hold on to your ankles. We're going to circle around a couple of times, round to the back, a little more arch to the front. And let's reverse the circles the other way. And we'll come back to center. From here, we're going to take the left leg out to the side. And we're going to bring the foot in on the right next to your thigh. Okay. And it might be further down, it might be closer to your knee, that's okay. Okay, get the sitting bones back and apart so you can kind of lift up, or you can manually lift through the hips. From here, we're going to turn towards the straight leg. Left hand behind you, right hand on that leg. Holding here, or you can start to bow out forward towards that leg. Lift up on that left side of your ribs. Bow your head. Maybe you reach further down. Not important how far you can reach, but where you can align, where you can have the muscles support the bones, everything working together. So press that right foot in towards your thigh and the left thigh in towards the foot. It'll get a little more support across your back. So you'll be able to stretch across over on that right hip and thigh, the low back, and down the back of your left leg for sure. If you're pretty steady, you don't have to have this hand behind you. It's there for a little extra support. You might cross the arm over and then bow here. I'm going to take the right hand to the hip, and you can either place this arm against your thigh, press the arm and leg together. If you can reach your toes, doesn't really matter if you reach your toes. You can go yogi toe grips, your 2-piece fingers wrap around that big toe and hold on. Otherwise, just arm and leg pressing together is fine too. Twist to the side and then stretch that arm on the right up. You You can hold here or reach back over towards your foot. You might even reach your foot. Maybe not today. Maybe someday. Can you breathe? Can you smile? Swing that top arm forward and then just come all the way back up. Let's go ahead and switch over to the other side. So we're going to extend the right leg out, left foot in towards you, okay? Pressing foot and leg together. Keep these toes pointed up. There's a tendency to either want to roll in or roll out. So we want to keep this leg active. And turn to the side, then you lift up through the ribs, hold on to the leg, other hand behind you for some support, and then exhale, start to bow forward towards this leg. And you might have a little more flexibility on one side than the other. That's okay, adjust where you need to. Other hand can stay behind you or cross over. And then just bow your head a bit. Don't let your shoulders fall up in your ears. Don't round your back so you can keep the shoulders up, lift through your chest, lengthen out. Press down through that left sitting bone. All right, from here, let's go ahead and either yogi toe grip, elbow on the side, or elbow and leg press. Bring that left hand to your hip, twist over to the side, holding here, or stretch up. And then imagine you're lengthening. Yeah, notice someone's pulling you, lifting you up so you can get longer through the torso, and then stretch the arm up and over, reaching back towards your foot. Try not to round forward towards your back. Try to face the chest a little more forward. Don't let that foot roll out. Let's release that arm down and come all the way back up. All right, from here, we're going to go ahead and lower down onto the mat. Yay, lower onto your back. Let's see, I'm going to go this way, I think. We'll see how that plays out. And from here, you can just hug your knees into your chest. And you can rock from side to side. Or you can circle around. Just press the low back to the floor. Should feel pretty good on the back. And let's come back to center. From here, we're going to place both feet on the floor. Let's place the right ankle on left thigh. You can hold here or bring the knees up towards your chest. Hold the back of your thigh. And as you hold here, go ahead and point and flex that left foot. Flex this foot on the top that's closest to you to give a little more support to the hip and the leg. Head is just neutral. Let's make some circles with that ankle on the left. And reverse the circles. And from here, just let the foot relax a bit, but keep the leg active, okay? So you're not so engaged that your leg is shaking. Just find a happy space in between. So you can hold the thigh or table a bit further and hold your shin. Don't let your low back come up off the floor. Keep that down. The further the back goes down, the more the shoulders want to pull up. So draw the shoulders back down, snuggle them in. All right, release. Keep the same position, just have your foot on the floor, and then we're going to cross the top leg all the way over. We're going to extend that right arm out to the side, shoulder height. Keep that shoulder on the floor. We're going to hold on with the left hand and take the leg across. So you can hold here. You can even put that other foot on the floor if you need a little more support. You might take it further, okay, but you don't want to go further than when the shoulder comes off the floor. If you want more support, you can hold from underneath. You can keep your head neutral here in the same direction you're turning. You can look up towards the sky, or you can turn your head the opposite direction. That right arm is about shoulder height. You can even go a little bit lower if you need to. All right, let's come back to center. And we're going to take the stretch over to the other side. So from here, ankle onto thigh to start. Draw the knees up, holding the back of your thigh or front of your shin. From your head, point and flex that right foot. Make some circles one direction. Even though we're noticing the foot here a little bit more, go ahead and reverse the circles. You still feel a stretch in that outer hip and thigh. Notice if you're leaning a little bit more to that side, so you're going to get a little more balance on both sides. So circling other direction if you haven't already. All right. And then again, you can hold back of thigh, front of shin, maybe draw the legs in closer. Press the low back to the floor, shoulders back, long neck. Breathe in. Exhale out. Let's release. From here, keep that right foot on the floor and take the left leg all the way over. Extend out through that arm, snuggle that shoulder under, and then take the twist over to the other side. Two more breaths. Let's come on back to center. From here, let's take a full body stretch. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs. Big breath in. And a big sigh out. One more big breath in. Exhale it out. We'll snuggle the shoulders back. Arms can just rest out by your side. Feet maybe a foot or so apart, just resting on the mat. And close your eyes. If you want a little bit more support, you can bend both knees. Place the feet wide apart. Let your knees rest together. Okay. So whichever feels best for you. Let your body settle in. Moving towards Shavasana or final relaxation. We always want to take a few moments at the end of our practice to allow all of the breath and postures to integrate, to allow us to settle. So just allow your body to settle in to comfort, to relaxation. If you prefer to have your eyes open, just pick a fixed spot, something that's not moving. Otherwise, with the eyes closed, just allowing yourself to focus inward. Relaxing your head and neck, your shoulders, the muscles around the eyes and the jaw. The breath flows naturally in and out through the nose. So with each exhale, just sinking further into comfort, letting it flow down through the shoulders and the back, out to the arms and the legs, to the wrists and the fingers, the ankles and the feet, all the way down to the toes. For this moment, know where to go, nothing to do. Allow yourself to simply be. If for any reason it's not comfortable lying on the floor, you can also sit up. So just notice where can you be comfortable. Keeping your eyes closed, just slowly begin to deepen your breath. And gently wiggle your fingers and toes. As you're ready, you can hug your knees up to your chest and roll over onto your side, and then gently press up to a comfortable seated posture. From here, we'll bring hands to heart and just pressing the palms together, bowing to the heart. And gratitude for our practice for this day, for our mind, our body, and our breath. I'm wishing peace and happiness. Namaste.